What's good with y'all, man? Happy Thursday. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. Just got back from the gym. Got an arm day in with some cardio. Feeling good. Feeling like $1,000,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a lot of Superman stuff to actually talk about. So it'll probably be a few videos I will be putting up. So, we have an article by Collider. And it says, after a decade in the dark, Superman proves James Gunn is giving DC a clear path forward. Let's check it out, man. For over a decade, DC's cinematic universe has been a case study in how not to run a blockbuster franchise. Its releases have lurched from over-ambitious crossovers to rushed solo outings plagued by studio interference, fractured creative visions, and hype-first marketing that undercut even its strongest films. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice crumbled under mandated edits. Yes, it did. At least they're telling the truth right now. Justice League became a cautionary tale of reshoots and tonal whiplash, and even critical bright spots like Wonder Woman felt like a lucky outlier rather than the product of a unified, inspired plan. Now, James Gunn and Peter Safran are steering DC Studios with a radically different playbook. Story first development, transparent leadership, and carefully paced expansion. Sorry. Gunn's Superman. The opening chapter of his planned Superman saga has already hit theaters and set the tone for what he hopes will be a coherent, creator-driven era. Speaking with The Hollywood Reporter recently, Gunn revealed he's already completed a very worked out treatment for the next installment and aims to start production soon. It's more than a small progress update. It's a signal that DC is finally putting vision before marketing. Okay, alright. Building a clear creative roadmap before cameras roll. The reason why I laugh because they're putting DC before marketing. Are you joking? The Superman movie we got, all the marketing they did worldwide, they put more marketing into the movie if you ask me. But we'll talk about it. If the momentum continues, this could be less of a reboot and more of a full-blown renaissance for the DCU. A decade of stumbles gives ways to strategy for the DCU. Pre-Gunn, DC films often fell victim to a seat of the pants approach that saw scripts rewritten mid-shoot, third acts reshot under studio pressure, and release dates locked before a coherent story existed. Batman v Superman was weighed down by edits that chopped out a vital connective tissue, yes, and made the overall narrative incoherent. Thanks, WB. You guys would have made $1,000,000,000 easy if you guys wanted to do that, but nobody wants to actually tell the truth. But this article is telling the truth right now. Justice League's theatrical cut, stitched together from two directors' opposing visions, was an object lesson in the dangers of meddling. The shared universe model demands more than standalone hit. It requires patience, a long-time creative map, and the discipline to follow it. Marvel Studios has succeeded not because every entry was flawless, but because each film was part of a larger, deliberately planned whole. For years, DC tried to mimic the model without doing the groundwork, resulting in a run of projects that felt less like chapters in a saga and more like competitors within the same universe. See, and that's DC if they would have stayed in their own gosh damn lane. Because me personally, I love Batman v Superman. But if they would have put out Man of Steel, then we get a Batman solo film, and then we got Wonder Woman. Well, there's the Trinity right there. Then we can bring them together for that epic Doomsday battle. Or, something along them lines with Steppenwolf. But they were in a rush. That's not Zack Snyder's fault. That's the studio's fault. And for the pressure that Zack Snyder was under, he did a hell of a job. And people don't want to give him credit. They chop his movies up, put him under mandates. He had to do all these different things. But if he had the free reign that James Gunn has right now, there would be a $1 billion franchise with these movies easily. If Zack Snyder had the creative free will that James Gunn has right now, easy. They would be making hella money. Let's continue. Let's see, where are we at? Gunman's Superman saga is already flipping that. The arc is plotted in advance, ensuring that toned character arcs and the thematic thoroughness are set before production. That's a radical shift from the reactive patchwork storytelling that defined much of the last decade, and their approach already seems to be paying off in the critical and fan response to Superman. Well, I would love to know how that's paying off, because last time I checked, Superman still hasn't made the studio money. They're losing money still. One of the clearest differences in Gunn's approach and transparency, rather than hiding behind secrecy and letting speculation run wild, Gunn chooses to share progress updates directly. That openness builds trust. Audience know there's a plan even if the details remain under wraps. No, Gunn needs to stop talking, because he is saying a lot of things and he's getting his words all tangled up. There's some tweets and some threads out there where, you know, he came out and said that Superman's going to digital because a Peacemaker. We want everybody to see Superman that way. Peacemaker makes more sense. And then I guess a few days ago, or whenever the thread was, I have to find it. If I can find it, I'll post the thread on here. He came out and said that you don't need to see Peacemaker for Superman. So he just needs to stop talking, seriously, because it's just not working out. It's making it worse. More importantly, Gunn isn't letting marketing dictate creative timelines. In the past, DC often locked release dates far in advance, forcing rushed productions and expensive reshoots when the story wasn't even ready yet. Gunn has reversed that order. The narrative is locked before camera roll, with marketing following once creative foundation is solid. By mapping a clear journey across multiple films from the start, Gunn can set the thematic tone for the DCU's next decade and give audiences a reason to invest in a connected world again. The result has already provided one film in Superman that not only stands on its own, but feels like the first step in a clearly defined path forward. And there's only more to come. Well, I feel like this article was... I'm not reading the rest of this. That's a lot. I feel like this article was telling half the truth here. They was telling the truth about the studio with Zack Snyder stuff, but with this James Gunn stuff, man, no. No. Now, let's see what James Gunn Superman is sitting at right now at the box office. Oh, I got the hiccups. Superman 2025 box office. Let's see. Superman is sitting at 597 million. It still hasn't even cracked 600 million. DC's in shambles. And you know, I want y'all to see something. Now, y'all remember that part? I saw James Gunn Superman, and there was a moment in James Gunn Superman, I was like, that's Superman. Y'all remember what moment I'm talking about? You remember the moment where he saved the lady on the bridge when the building's falling, and it looks like he's crawling on it, but he's holding the bridge up, and she drives away, and then the bridge falls, and then this epic shot of Superman. Epic. He goes up into the dust. Well, guess what? That looked very. Does this look very familiar right here? Does that look familiar right here? Does that look familiar right there? So, a lot of people are not only questioning James Gunn's originality, because the Superman movie had very similar plot points to BVS, Man of Steel, and there's been a lot of shots coming out that people are comparing to other movies. DC is in shambles, man. It's sad. I'm a DC guy. I wanted James Gunn Superman, but besides what these internet trolls want to say, I wanted James Gunn Superman to be good because I want to be excited for DC. See, people think that, oh, because you support Zack Snyder, you don't support nobody else. That is absolutely false. I've said it like thousands of times. I like some of James Gunn's work. Guardians 1, Slither, Brightburn, wish it got a sequel. Slither, I might have already said that one. Dawn of the Dead, he worked on that with Zack Snyder. There's movies I like with James Gunn, but this was just not one of them. It wasn't. It was goofy. It was corny. It was low budget, pretty much. It was just terrible. Okay, 5 out of 10 for me. I'll never watch this movie again. It's too much, man. We just want good movies, good entertainment, and we want to love our superheroes again. And I'm not even the biggest Superman fan, but I be out here defending Superman like I am. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So with this article, man, I don't really have too much else to say. I'm not looking forward to DC. I'm more excited for Marvel, and I'm a DC guy. DC has too much going on. There's a lot of Superman stuff to talk about as well. There's a lot of videos actually made because there's a lot of stuff coming out. And another thing I will say is that, you know, they trying to say this Superman movie is a success and all this BS, but word on the street is they're rushing Superman 2 to be made. That's what I'm hearing. Now, I don't know if that's 100% facts, but word on the street is that they're speed lighting Superman 2 to come out. So, and if they are, that's not good. I think they said James Gunn contract ends in 2026 or something like that. So, we shall see, man. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought. If you enjoyed my thoughts on this article, make sure you leave that like and drop that sub, alright? I will catch you guys in the next one. 100,000 subscribers is ground time. Let's get it.